Good morning, Anona, family, and friends. It's Thursday, time for our devotion as we're in the second Thursday of Lent. At Anona, we're doing a study called Restored Finding Redemption in Our Mess. And in the book, the author kind of compares us with cars. He contrasts us when we go to the new car showroom and when we end up in the junkyard. And kind of our lives are like that. When we're first born, or if we go into our faith aspect, when we first come into the faith, we're like a brand new car. Don't you love that new car smell? But then over the years, we got some mileage on us. Some of us have a lot of mileage on us, and some folks out there just have a little bit. But through the years, we begin to get dinged up a little bit. Maybe we've been in an accident or two. Maybe we've just banged the fender. Maybe we've knocked out a headlight. Some of us don't have all our factory installed parts anymore. We've had to have replacement parts. And also, the inside of our cars and outside of our cars can get all dirty. Some people love to get their cars cleaned all the time. I kind of just like, well, I'll clean it when I get around to it. And so we have messes. Our cars can be messes. Our lives can be messes. And sometimes, like my car, it may look fairly decent on the outside, but on the inside, it can still be a real mess. I tend to eat and spill things in my car. I've got papers and odds and ends, and my trunk has, well, who knows what in there. I never know when I might need it, right? And so our lives can be like that too. We might look good on the outside, and people think, oh, they're doing things well, and yet on the inside, we can be a mess. You probably know people on social media who, from their post, oh, that looks like everything's going well. But when you dive deep into their lives, you see there's a real mess going on. And so we have to take hold of that mess. We have to do something with that mess. The first thing we have to do is we have to acknowledge that mess. And that's what the time of Lent is for us to be able to explore, look inside, see how the grime and the dirt has covered us so that we are not in that new car shape anymore. We may be that kind of car that nobody wants to look at anymore because we've let it go. It's got the dings, it's got the dirt. It just doesn't run well. Our lives can be like cars too. Sometimes we get banged up. Sometimes it's not even our fault. We're just sitting there at a red light and bang, somebody runs into us. But sometimes it may be our fault. We weren't paying attention when we backed up. We were going too fast. We were not paying attention when we should have been. And so our lives can be messed up in ways that we created and that just happened to us. But we have to search ourselves. We have to take time to really see what is in us that keeps us from being the image that God created us. One of the things that Tom writes in the book is, he says, there are two things that I believe to be true about you and me. One, we were created in God's image. This means we are greater masterpieces than the art Michelangelo left on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. See, we are great masterpieces. We were made in the image of God. But the second thing is, the grime of sin covers us and hides the great beauty God intended for us and the world to enjoy? Are we letting that grime and that dirt and that mess, does it not let us enjoy the beauty that God created? And maybe it doesn't let us share the beauty within us to others. It's an important thing we can do during this Lenten season to really uncover ourselves. But there is good news, and Paul says this in 2 Corinthians 13:11. Finally, brothers and sisters, rejoice, strive for full restoration, encourage one another, be of one mind, live in peace, and the God of love and peace will be with you. Wonderful words to remind us that when we continue to reach out to God, we continue to repent and do those things that we know we ought to do, then we can find God's help. So during this time of Lent, take some time to reflect. Look at your life. And there's lots of things you can probably do to let God's light shine through you in wonderful ways. Have a good weekend. I look forward to seeing you in worship online, of course, and I'll see you next week.